and welcome to the It Doesn't Hold Up podcast. We review and reevaluate all things we remember fondly from our childhood and years prior to see if they still hold up. And more often than not, they probably don't. I'm Stuart Shepherd, along with my co-host and good friend, Michael Smith. Smith, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Stu. And how are you?
I am fantastic, but I am disappointed. This is the second episode in a row you've not done a quip. Where is your funny quip? Where's your funny quip, Smith?
I don't have any funny quips. I can't actually copy any of the dialogue from this film as a funny quip either, because I believe that would make me a racist.
Yes, I'm going to be very careful not to do any impressions throughout this review, because I don't want to be deemed a racist either.
I'm usually very careful.
Yes. So we'll just say we're both very fine and looking forward to talking about this nomination. Lovely. Cool. But before we get on to said nomination, just want to talk about last episode's feedback. Now, Smith, we had a tremendous response to The Mask. It has been our most watched video on YouTube and one of our most highest downloaded audios on Spotify and Apple and wherever else. So it just goes to show you all these years later, despite Jim Carrey being very annoying, there's still an appetite for The Mask.
No accounting for taste, Stu. No accounting for taste.
Indeed.
Well, maybe if we do the Son of the Mask, we'll double those figures.
I think we'll get cancelled. Oh, but I don't know what feedback you got about The Mask, but I think what I got was, oh my God, I forgot how leery that film is. And and yeah, if you thought Jim Carrey was annoying in The Mask, you wait till you go back and watch Ace Ventura, because apparently he's 1,000 times worse.
The feedback that I got on The Mask was, take it off, what are you doing in my bushes?
I'm sorry.
Wrong kind of mask.
Anyway, oh dear! This is taking a turn for the worst. All right, okay, fine. Any proper decent feedback for the 1994 film with Jim Carrey?
No. Apart from the things that you said, like people had forgotten how very, very leery and overly sexualized that film was, and how very, very annoying Jim Carrey is.
Indeed, but I still maintain only annoying when he's The Mask. When he's Stanley at Kiss, he's not annoying. But there you go.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends what your appetite is for incels, but
anyway, moving swiftly on. Now, before we get onto this episode's nomination, I have a special shout out to do. So last time we did a shout out for one of our listeners, a mutual friend got very, very jealous and said, I can only dream of a shout out. So this is for Gary Doherty. He's been a loyal fan and follower of our show since its inception. So thank you very much, Gary, for all of your support and listening to us. And yeah, this is your shout out. So you should feel very privileged.
Thanks, Gary.
Anyway, that's all you're getting, Gary. Right, so moving swiftly on. I nominated Rush Hour at the end of last episode, and this is only Rush Hour 1 we're covering from 1998. We're not covering Rush Hour 2, and we most certainly are not covering Rush Hour 3.
I've not seen it.
Don't bother.
I wasn't gonna. wasn't on my immediate to-do list.
Fantastic. Good. I'm glad we got that out of the way. But yeah, a brief synopsis is it is about Detective James Carter from the LAPD get paired together with Inspector Lee from Hong Kong, and they have to solve the case of a missing kidnapped girl. Will they succeed? Yeah.
Very simple plot. This is very simple plotting 101, and it is no bad thing.
No, absolutely not. You know, you could probably compare it to Lethal Weapon, Tango and Cash, and any other buddy cop comedy, but yeah.
Lethal Weapon was the one that came to mind.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapons 3 and 4, specifically 4, came to mind. But I believe which came first, Lethal Weapon 4 or this?
Lethal Weapon 4. So Lethal Weapon 4 came out summer of 98, and then we in the UK got Rush Hour December 1998, but America got it September 98. So Lethal Weapon 4
so there was something
first.
in the zeitgeist then around sort of Asian influence action on American cinema in 1998.
I think so. And
because
I'm not
it had Jet Li in it, right? Number 4.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, the whole thing in Lethal Weapon 4 is the triads and people trafficking from the Far East and all that sort of thing. But yeah, and apparently, I don't know if it's bullshit, but some Stu trivia here was apparently Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker were considered for Lethal Weapon 4. That went to Jet Li and Chris Rock, but it could be bullshit. That's just what I read.
I haven't heard that. It's probably bullshit.
I'm
going to call bullshit on that fact.
Fair.
I don't see Jackie Chan making his Hollywood cinema debut playing a villain somehow.
No. Has Jackie Chan ever played a villain? He's always the smiling, nice guy.
I mean, maybe in his personal life. Hey-oh!
If
you get a father children out of wedlock, you're going to get that kind of sass from Smith.
Okay. So, as mentioned, it came out in 1998. So, Smith, what you got for us? What was going on in 1998?
Well, in 1998, there were three big news stories of the year. Four big news stories of the year. Sorry, I've already made a fool of myself. In one, Bill Clinton finally admitted he did have sex with that woman. The Good Friday Agreement was signed in Northern Ireland, and the Omaha City bombing killed lots of people. In film news, Titanic scooped up at the Oscars, winning 11 despite being shit.
God, that must have been a bad year for the Oscars.
Or a good year for James Cameron.
Yeah, he was the king of the world.
Now, I've also decided to do, after last time, drop in on our friends at the Weekly World News and see what some of their bigger headlines were from 1998.
Oh wow!
I've just taken three. I've taken three rather than I could go on for hours with this. The original Ten Commandments found in Ethiopia. Horse born with a human face. And did Fidel Castro kidnap Pope and replace him with a double? Did he? Who's asking these important questions? The Weekly World News.
Well, that third one seems the most plausible out of the three.
I think a horse could have been born with a human face.
What if a human was born with a horse face?
And that is the plot of BoJack Horseman. I've never watched it.
No, I've never watched it.
No, I have watched it. No, it's not the plot of BoJack Horseman.
So, is that your scene setting, or have you got?
That's my scene setting. That's my scene setting. But I could also go into a little bit about the film and how it performed before we move into it.
I'll save that for the trivia.
I'll save that for the trivia at the end then.
Cool. Oh, one thing of scene setting from Stu. My wife wanted me to say that France won the 1998 World Cup because she's French. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll drop that in for you. I don't see how that benefits us UK people, but fine. Whatever.
That there's any relevance to this at all?
It is,
except that Rush Hour 3 set in Paris. Hold on a minute.
Hang on. You're a
coincidence.
Shit film.
Coincidence? Yes.
Very much so. Right. So, how old were you when you first watched Rush Hour, and how did you see it? Was it by cinema? Was it rental? Hooky copy? What was it?
So, 1998, I was 13 years old.
Yes.
Yes. Hold on. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm officially old. Yeah. I was 13 years old, and I believe I saw this at the cinema. In the Cineworld in Bexley Heath.
Oh, I love that cinema. I still go there.
Is it still open?
It's still open, and you know what? Tickets are only $5.99 now. I don't know why. They were like £14, and they just slashed them down at $5.99. So me and my wife go there all the time.
Well, yeah, I remember they used to do like £3 tickets on
Tuesdays,
Wednesdays, I believe. Tuesdays or Wednesdays, yeah. So I used to just go after school.
Cheapo Tuesday,
yeah. So no, I saw it at the cinema, as I recall. It was during my period going to the cinema fairly regularly. It's sort of dropped off in the last few years, but back when I was younger, I'd do it more and more, like week in, week out. I think this was the year we'd have seen Saving Private Ryan.
That was same sort of.
We saw that at the Cineworld. We saw that at the Cineworld in Bexley Heath. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. No. When we were
memory lane, memories.
Oh, when we were young. No, yeah, I remember when we were about 12, 13, 14, we were always going to the bloody cinema every Saturday. It didn't even matter if the film was shit. We just go watch it because we had nothing better to do. But yeah,
bugger all else to do.
That's right. But
we were those teenage nuisances that I now complain about in the cinema. I've come to watch this bloody film, don't even know what it's about. I'm just going to sit there and talk all the way through it.
No, I always thought we were quite well behaved in the cinema. Even the film was shit, we'd be like, we don't want to be those people. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we were those people. I don't know. But no, I didn't see this at cinema. I remember you asking, did I want to come see it? Because you showed me like the review in Total Film, and I remember the verdict was, beware, this film contains Chris Tucker. Like that. You said, do you want to come watch this film? And I'm like, I'll pass, it's fine. And I remember asking you what it was like. You're like, oh, it's awesome. And then everyone kept saying about, oh, this film's really, really good. And then I didn't watch it until 1999. So same shit. Like films didn't come out until about 6 months after they'd been out in the cinema. And I specifically remember our mutual friend Craig. Hi, Craig.
Hi, Craig.
He lent it to me on video because he must have bought it. And I bunked a day off school.
From a shop you don't know.
Nicked it from a shop, yeah. And I bunked a day off school because I couldn't be bothered to go in. I probably woke up and was a bit tired up there. And I remember just going, oh yeah, Craig lent me that video. So I put it on and I watched it and I was like, this is the best way I could ever spend a bunk day off. Yeah. So I would have been 1999. I would have been 14. So you were 13 and I was 14. So you saw it at the cinema and I watched it on a VHS cassette tape.
Now, for the younger listeners out there, that was a piece of technology.
Yeah, it was. I still have it. I've still got a video and DVD thing where you can like copy either side because
Right,
there are some things you cannot get on DVD, but which I only have a video, and I've made a point of copying them over. And then at some point, I need to then get the DVD and make a digital copy of it. Just oh god,
It's mostly just vintage porn.
my wife's listening, Smith. Anyway, should we move into the plot?
What are you doing? I'm just copying my tapes. These documentaries I keep watching. Nature documentaries. Yes, let's move into the plot.
The plot. Right, so we begin. And
So,
New
sorry,
Line Cinema!
Sorry, just before I start, the first thing I wrote down in my little book just before it started was, "This is going to be racist, isn't it?"
Yes. Yes, it is. Not as racist as I remember
Actually,
it.
no, it's I was
still
surprised
kinda
by the end.
racist.
By the end, I was sort of like, "Oh, this actually isn't that bad." I thought it was going to be far worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go on.
Anyway, so we begin at New Line Cinema, and it's the second New Line Cinema movie we've covered within 2 episodes, the last being the mask. Yep. We cut to Hong Kong Harbour. All looks very nice, although apparently I've been told Hong Kong's not the place to visit. It looks amazing, but apparently it's not. It's just kind of really expensive and there's not much to see. But yeah, from the opening shots, oh, this looks kind of cool. We see artifacts are being loaded onto a boat, and some shifty looking henchmen are supervising, all smoking, I might add.
Yeah.
Every last
Yeah.
one of them's having a fag.
But this is both. It's both. I would say this feels so late '90s, right? Everyone's having a fag. Everyone's just sort of hanging around. It feels kind of glossy in that way
Yep.
that '90s films felt. It's got that kind of cliched, like he's taking people from the shadows and beating them up. They've got, the henchman has got a physical deformity. Like, what physical deformity could be worse than bleached blonde hair?
Yeah, absolutely. And
90s films taught me not to trust men with bleached blonde hair because they're inevitably villains.
absolutely. But yeah, as you quite rightly said, there's a silent assassin pulling people off like "Ah!" with a gun. And then we see that it's Inspector Lee, it's Jackie Chan, and he's made his way onto the boat, and he's looking for the crime lord Jung Tao, who's a sort of a big deal in Hong Kong, but instead he's confronted by Sang. I think it's Sang. Yeah, Sang. And he is Jung Tao's second in command, I guess. And yeah, at this point, he's like, Jung Tao is everywhere, and then he cheeses it, and then Lee gives chase to him. Now, Lee does a spectacular jump from this boat. I'm like, how did you not break your leg? And he legitimately does it. It's not like he lands on a crash mat. You see him jump off the boat, hit like the grab blow, and just start running. Jesus Christ, Jackie Chan. At this point, he's in like his mid to late 40s, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the man has a body made of rubber, as far as I can tell. Although I believe this scene. There's and it's kind of comes to the trivia already, but there's in this scene he almost died filming a bit of this scene.
Yeah, it's a little bit later. I'll come to that in a sec.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, as Lee's giving chase, there's gunfire going off everywhere, and cops arrive, and then yeah, this
gunfire, and he goes, "I know, I'm going to hide behind these wooden crates. That'll stop bullets." I mean, it seems to work for some reason, but I'm pretty sure in real life you'd be dead.
No, you can't kill Jackie Chan.
I
And
don't
then
know. I can try.
please don't. He's national treasure. Anyway, and then yeah, he does that amazing stunt, where he nearly died. Where 2 metal containers are about to crush him, and he manages to run up one and clear it just as they close in on each other. Oh Jesus! Yeah, apparently he almost got his head, and it would have just killed him instantly. Like,
Yeah.
Jackie Chan, you are a nutcase. He didn't even do it with cables or anything. He just literally just ran up it. Yeah, amazing stuff. And then Sang, unfortunately, has got away on a speedboat. God damn it. Then we'll do. Yeah, then we cut to a dinner party, and we understand it's the last night of the British rule of Hong Kong, and that's where we meet Consul Han and the British Police Commander Thomas Griffin, played by Tom Wilkinson. Rest in peace.
Yeah. And Han, played by Zima, who you'll recognise from things such as Arrival.
He was in Arrival, yes.
Yeah, he was in Arrival. He was in the Lady Killers remake with Tom Hanks. And he's in a little film with Adam Brody, which if no one's seen it, and I will just use this as an opportunity to recommend a film to people, it's called The Kid Detective. It's really hard to find on physical media.
The Kid Detective.
The Kid Detective, yeah.
Okay.
He's in the, so it's really hard to find on physical media, but it's on streaming. If you can find it, watch it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Duly noted. I like all your recommendations. They're very left field. Cool. What's going on?
So I wrote down here, Zima usually plays the villain, but it's definitely Tom Wilkinson. From the second he's on screen, it's like, well.
And the thing is, he's in this scene, and then he doesn't show up for the rest of the movie, but yet he was third on the credits.
Yeah, it's always the dead giveaway films. Like, oh, who's this relatively well-known person or of the moment person because he's just done the Full Monty? Who's okay, yeah, he'll be the villain. Yep.
Okay, absolutely. And then during this party, Inspector Lee arrives, and then he informs Han and the rest of the people that they've recovered all the stolen artifacts, Chinese artifacts that were on the boat, and they're all very, very happy about that. So that's good.
Except Tom Wilkinson, who goes,
Yeah, I was watching his face, like, is he a bit, but he's like, oh, and starts clapping. Good poker face. Then Lee goes outside, and we meet Councillor Hun's daughter, Su Young. And
I've written
now,
here, I hope nothing happens to this adorable child.
hmm,
And I hope this necklace doesn't have any significance later on in the film.
oh, it will. And you know, a little bit of tidbit here. I've got Rush Hour 2 on DVD, not Rush Hour 3. And my DVD, for some reason, this scene with Jackie Chan and Su Young, it's not subtitled. Even if you physically go into the DVD and choose subtitles, there's one bit when they're speaking in Cantonese or Mandarin when they're talking. It's not subtitled. So for a long time, I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. But recently, I watched it on Netflix. I was like, oh, okay. And they're talking about, oh, why aren't you coming with us to LA? I'm so disappointed because Councillor Han and Su Young are relocating to LA, and Inspector Lee's not coming with them. And Inspector Lee's kind of like a guardian for Su Young, and he's been teaching her kung fu, from what I understand. And then, yeah,
It's that stock character trait of cops in films. They're friends with a child.
yeah. And then,
to increase the stakes.
indeed, and we get a glimpse of a painting of Han's wife, but I presume she's died. Oh yeah, because then Lee says to her, "Your mother would have been so proud." So okay, so he's a single parent.
She might just be on like a long holiday. You don't know.
Perhaps.
She might just be an absentee mother.
But she would have been so proud.
Your mother would have been so proud of you if she gave a shit, but she doesn't. She left.
You're a heartless monster, Smith. Anyway,
sorry.
Oh yeah, and Su Young was on punches Jackie Chan right in the stomach. It's like probably not a good thing to do that. He could kill you.
I'd love it if he just walloped her back. Bit respect.
Yeah. But then, as you said, he gives her a necklace, and wonder if that will come back later.
It does.
Then we cut to LA and we meet Detective James Carter. Oh, at this stage, we don't know he's a detective. He's acting undercover and he's buying C4 from Clive, who is Chris Penn.
So I was always kind of two things. One, I expected that the James Jimmy Carter thing would come to something at some point in the film.
Kind of does.
It kind of does, but it doesn't really. It's just a weird choice for the name. Now, the other thing I noticed here is, I don't know about you, but 90s movies and 80s movies gave me the impression that C4 plastic explosive was all over the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had it. Now, I went to the theatre the other night, my other half, and I sat in seat C4, and I pointed at it and went, and she's like, don't get it. I was like, C4, like plastic explosive. What are you talking about? I was like, maybe it's just me that thinks C4 is a cultural touch point that everybody knows about. Because the 90s told me that everyone had like loads of this stuff all over the shop. Like, it's just everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And in Metal Gear Solid, you can plant C4 everywhere and blow it up.
Well, there we go.
People don't watch films and play games. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but she went outside when she was younger, the fucking nerd.
Yeah, fresh air and all that. But yes, Carter is buying C4 very unsubtly outside of the car park of the diner.
Out of the boot of a car. It's like, oh, I've got some hooky DVDs, got some watches, got some C4 plastic explosive. Whatever you want.
Yeah. And yeah, then suddenly 2 patrol cops come and then start being like, oi, what you 2 up to? And then like Carter's trying to be like, yeah, get the fuck out of here if it's fine. And then immediately Clive just gets really right and the light's gonna take Carter hostage and then shoots at the 2 cops and shoots one of their finger off. Like, oh damn. That turned bleak really quick. And then what do we get? Yeah, we get Clive driving away and Carter's panicking. And then he shoots at the boot of the car, which is really, really dangerous. Like, assuming Clive didn't jump out the car, which he didn't know he was going to do, he would have just murdered him. But
well, now see, this is another thing, right? And I'm not a scientist. This might come as a surprise to you, but I'm not. And I don't think that's how C4 plastic explosive works. I think C4 plastic explosive, you have to put an electrical charge through for it to explode. I don't think if you hit it or you wallop it or you shoot it, it's going to do anything at all.
Go on, I dare you.
I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm going to take some time to look this up at some point, and then I will let you know if I was right or not. I should have done before I said that statement on a podcast. And maybe someone look like a tit, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
All right.
So, another interesting little tidbit here. Sorry, I'm going off on wild tangents.
That's fine.
Very early on. How old do you think Chris Penn was during the filming of this film?
I imagine probably quite young, and he has a massive alcohol problem.
He's like 32.
Oh, that's depressing, isn't it?
He looks about 50.
That's really bad.
I mean, he's only got about another 10 or 11 years left to live after this before he dies of a massive heart attack. But like, you look at him, you're like, I can see why.
Yeah, he has made aged massively since Reservoir Dogs, and that was only what 7 years prior or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like really depressing. But yeah, but so yeah, Clive's driving away in his car. Carter shoots at it and explodes. Clive manages to jump out just in time. Carter does that really hilarious Michael Jackson dance. I don't know why that popped me as much as it did, but it was very, very funny. I'm not sure if it's part of your trivia later, but yeah, Carter's Chris Tucker's a huge fan of Michael Jackson. Was actually in one of Michael Jackson's music videos as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
rock my world. Sorry if I'm
Um,
nicking your
I
Smith
always
trivia.
thought no, that wasn't my Smith trivia. I didn't consider that interesting enough. The I thought in all the bits in this where he's dancing, because it happens a couple of times, it would have been so much funnier if they didn't bother putting music underneath it,
Oh yeah, because they put like a
and he was
Jacko
just
track
and he
on,
was
didn't
just
they?
dancing. Like, that would be much funnier.
I still found it funny. And this is when he reveals that he's actually a detective and he's under arrest. Then we're back in LA, and believe it's like 2 months later, and we're at the Chinese consulate, and then Soo Young is being chauffeured to school by drivers because then a mysterious phone call appears at the consulate, and Councillor Hannah to go and take it, but there's nobody on the other end. Ooh, someone's distracted. And then we get Soo Young singing in the car to Mariah Carey "Fantasy," and it's very, very badly sung. These two blokes look incredibly uncomfortable, like putting up with this.
But she's the consular's daughter, so you can't do jack shit.
Exactly, you put up with it. And then some fake cops pull the car over. But wait, it's Sang! Ah! Sang's in LA! And he
What's
tells
the
them,
problem, officer?
there's no problem, there's just Rush
Rush Hour!
Hour!
Oh,
Cue
he said the
credits.
name of the film. He said the name of the film. That's the only reason this film's called Rush Hour.
Literally, it's the
Cannot
only
think of
reason.
another fucking reason why it's called Rush Hour. I was the whole thing. Got to the end, I was like, why is it called Rush Hour?
Because they kidnapped the kid in Rush Hour. It's literally the only reason why it's called Rush Hour.
But they didn't even kidnap her in Rush Hour. They like made them divert to an empty street to do it. The opposite of Rush Hour.
Yeah, clear road. But
Open highway.
terrible
The
name.
film.
Yeah. So yeah, and then Sang shoots the bodyguards, and then Soo Young starts fighting with Sang. Now, I must say, she beats the shit out of him. She takes off her necklace, like proper, like wallops him with it, like scars up his eye.
I thought that was a nice touch in this film, that she has quite a lot of agency and, like, you know, fighting back, running away, trying to escape rather than just being like a simpering, crying child. And I think the thing you miss in this is after this, you don't really see her again until the end.
No, that's true
And you
because
could have had, they could have done with the scene with her with the people holding her captive being bolshy with them. I think you could probably would have added a little bit more, because beyond her and the police officer that works with Chris Tucker, there are no women with dialogue in this film.
no, that's true. Oh, Johnson, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's true actually, because you only see Soo Young for a little bit at the end when she's in the van. He's like, "Oh, daddy," or whatever like that. But
yeah.
I don't know whether they thought it was too harrowing to keep showing a girl in danger, and perhaps that's why they didn't show it.
But
I
even
don't know.
just shown her being not in danger and her just like standing up to her captors, I think would have been the way through it.
Perhaps. But yeah, no,
But
you're
anyway,
right. You don't see much of Soo Young after. But yeah, because she runs off, and then a bloke on a motorbike grabs hold of her. Very impressive stunt, by the way. And then they bundle her into a van and drive off. Yeah, nothing is CGI in this film. That's what I love. I mean, obviously it's a Jackie Chan movie, so it's going to be risk of death, right? But yeah, even non-Jackie Chan people are not doing CGI stuff. It's all action, practical effects.
yeah.
Very, very, very good. Um, we see Han is at the exhibition hall, and yeah, there's going to be an exhibition for the Chinese artifacts that have been recovered in a few days' time. And then that's when the two FBI agents arrive. And one of them I recognise, like, who the hell are you? I'm like, oh yeah, you're the raper in the Shawshank Redemption.
He's
But the
also
guy,
Drake. I heard he's Drake from Aliens.
I don't remember him from Aliens.
He's the one who gets the acid on him. He's him and Vasquez.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Drake and Mark Rolston. He's also in Saw 5. There's two Saw connections in this, because Sang Ken Leung is in Saw 1. He's Danny Glover's partner.
Really? I thought he was a
Yep.
lot younger.
Ken Leung, yeah, no, Ken Leung's a lot older than that. He's in Star Wars Force Awakens as well, and Lost. He was in several series of Lost.
Oh, yeah. I did. Yeah, I knew that about Lost and Force Awakens, but I didn't know that was him in Saw. Huh?
Yeah,
The man
it's
does
in
not age. He does not
No.
age. Yeah, so the FBI agents tell them they got some bad news, and that's when we're back at the consulate, and then the FBI say, yeah, look, we can do everything we can to get your daughter back. But Han is like, no, I want one of my people to help. You know, he's really good. And they're like, well, no, sir. And he's like, well, he's actually on his way over already. I was like, so why are you asking for permission? You've told them he's already on the plane coming over. And also, he made that phone call pretty quick to Inspector Lee to come over. And Inspector Lee had no plans and just dropped everything. He's just flown over to LA on a private plane, I might add.
A lot of money in Hong Kong law enforcement.
clearly. Then we cut to the LAPD office, and Carter's bragging to everyone about how he, took down Clive and he's a hero, that sort of stuff. And then that's when we meet, Johnson, the female police colleague, and
Slash bomb disposal expert for reasons that will become apparent later.
yeah, at no point do they mention that until a bit later when she's defusing a bomb. So, wonder if this will come back. But yeah, apparently she was supposed to go with him to that sting operation to stop Clive, but Carter went alone because he don't need no partner. He doesn't need no help. He hasn't ever had a partner. He doesn't want to have a partner. I wonder what's going to disrupt this.
Well, no, I assume that he's on the up and up and that he will not have a partner at any point because he just said that. Why would he lie to us?
Well, yeah. Can you refuse a partner? If your police captain says, I'm assigning you this person, you can't refuse.
Yeah, but you could do horrible stuff to them until they quit, like shit in their lunchbox.
True. Works every time.
That is the quickest way to get rid of someone.
Yeah, definitely. And then Carr starts being really patronised, like, it's too dangerous for you to go out in the field. You should just be on a desk. And he's like, LAPD are the most hated people ever. And he says, right down this line, my own mama is ashamed of me. She tells everyone that I'm a drug dealer. It's really funny. And then Johnson tells Carter that he's on the verge of being suspended, and he starts getting all paranoid. Then back at the consulate, the FBI agents decide that they're going to use the LAPD to deal with this Inspector Lee situation. They're like, we might as well make fun of the LAPD than use our guys. Ha 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 ha. It's like, you evil bastards. That's the thing. This film tries to make us look like these FBI guys are really like arseholes. He's like, not really. I kind of understand where they're coming from. They've got procedure they want to follow. They don't want someone from another country coming over and interfering. Totally get it.
They don't know that it's Jackie Chan. They don't know that he's the most competent policeman in the world.
That's true.
Could be any old random. Could have been like, I don't know, Jet Li.
Yeah.
Then where would you be?
That's right. They're going to be killing everyone. Right. And then at this point, the police captain's on the phone to presumably the FBI guys go, no, this is an outrage. No, I'm not sending one of my people to come help with this. This is total bullshit. And then suddenly Carter walks in. He's like, I've got just the guy. I was like, that's excellent.
That's Philip Baker Hall, who's been in tons of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's in Magnolia, Boogie Nights. He's a really great. He's dead now, but he was a really great actor. And fantastic comic timing. They could have done with another bit more of him in this as well. He's only in it for a little bit, and it's.
Yeah, I think he's like two scenes.
Yeah,
it this scene, and then later when he calls the captain, that's the only two scenes he's in. But yeah, this scene's pretty funny because it's like it's good to let people know every now and again we can blow shit up. Would the captain say that? And then Carter's all being like, no, don't suspend me and stuff. He's like, actually, Carter, I'm going to give you an assignment. You're going to be on this, FBI project about the kidnapped girl, and off you go, type thing. And then Carter's dancing, and he's all happy and announcing to everyone, that's it, I'm working for the FBI now. That one's. Oh yeah. Then immediately he's at the consulate. And suddenly he's got himself a very ill-fitting suit. I don't know what it was about the 90s where people with really large, ill-fitting suits.
Awful lot of ill-fitted suits in this. When Jackie Chan first turns up, I've written that's a very big tie.
I quite liked his style though, the black shirt and the red tie. I thought it was kind of cool. No. But yes, it is a bit ill-fitting. Carter arrives, he's all full of self-importance, and then the FBI people are like, the special assignment, G14 classified. And then the other one like, G4 classified. That's good. And then this guy's called Warren, I think. FBI Warren. Special Agent Warren, sorry. And then him and arm in arm walks outside with Carter and he tells him basically, you need to babysit this guy, which Carter, understandably is outraged. And also, why didn't he just refuse? Go, right, fuck this. I'm just going back to the LAPD. But so they just say, stay out of FBI business. We don't need their help. Your help, his help, whatever. And this bit makes no sense to me. So Carter then goes to the airport to meet Lee, and he arrives by a private plane. But Carter's managed to drive his car on the runway. Like, in what world can a private car go onto the runway of an airport? Airport.
Even in the lax security world of pre 9/11, you couldn't do that.
No,
wouldn't happen. But maybe because he's a policeman, maybe it's a private airfield. Maybe it's just convenient because it's a film.
And also, Carter keeps on flashing around an FBI badge. Like, hang on, who gave him that? If this assignment is really pony and fake, why would they give him an FBI badge?
I've written down here, impersonating an FBI agent. Oh, dear.
And he abuses that all throughout this film. And then, this is when the racism starts.
Yeah, so, and here's the racism.
Oh, my God. So the first thing he does is just assume that Jackie Chan can't speak English. So the minute as he gets on the base, I was like, "Do you speak English? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?" And then I found this funny that it's a ruse that Inspector Lee's just going to pretend no, I don't, and go along with it. But I don't know why he didn't just say, "Well, yes, of course I do." And
So what I kind of thought about this when I was watching it is the first when he started doing it, the words that are coming out of my mouth. And actually, to jump it to trivia, because I might forget it, because I didn't write it down.
yeah, yeah.
That line came from an original meeting from Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Mhm.
Because Chris Tucker was speaking so fast that Jackie Chan turned to his agent, I don't understand the words that are coming out of his mouth. And apparently that's made it into the script.
And I can believe that Chris Tucker
Yeah, I
talks
can.
a
He
mile
does
a
talk a
minute.
mile a minute.
Yeah,
But what I was thinking when I was watching it is that the racism is it's sort of there, and you think, oh god, here we go. But it's massively undercut by the fact that you always get the sense that Jackie Chan has the upper hand. Like the amount of
yeah,
eye rolling and just sort of tutting he's doing, you kind of think, okay, I think he's being played for a fool. We're not supposed to be on Chris Tucker's side. We're not supposed to be supporting that level of stereotypical racism. It's just he's the idiot here.
yeah, exactly. You know, you're. We know he's wrong, and by the end of it, he's going to change. He's going to be a bit of character development. He's going to stop being such an intolerant dickhead. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's still wrong. It's still uncomfortable when you watch it.
Not as uncomfortable as the bit on the bus later on with all the Japanese tourists with the cameras. There's no justification for that.
No, that bit did make me laugh though when he starts posing with the gun, like taking photos. Anyway, we're jumping ahead. Yeah. So then, understandably, Carter's really annoyed, so he calls his police captain, and for some reason, the police captain has gathered everyone in the office, put him on loudspeaker, and they're having a good old laugh for the fact that
There's a reason. There's a reason, Drew. It's called bullying in the workplace.
I don't know, maybe Carter's an insufferable prick, and he really deserved it.
I mean, I get that sense.
Yeah. Then it's something really racist. He says, "You better sort this out right now. I'm going to drop his ass off at Panda Express." Why would you say that? And his police captain basically says, "If you don't like go along with this, then you're suspended for 2 weeks." So yeah, 2 weeks doesn't seem a lot though. Just fuck it. If you're going to pay me, I'll be suspended. The worms. Yeah, and then at this point, Jackie Chan's still keeping up the ruse that he can't speak English, and he's just sort of pointing to cards saying like consulate and showing him photos of Sue Young, and Lee's like, sorry, Carter's like, no, I can't take you there, whatever. Oh Jesus. Carter takes Lee to a Chinese theatre. He goes, "Oh, this looks like home, doesn't it? Please stop it. Please, this is making me really uncomfortable." But yeah, this is when, like you said, you get like the eye rolling from Jackie Chan, like, "Oh, this is bullshit. Like, just stop
Yeah.
wasting my time."
Was it Grauman's Chinese theatre? Did he take him to?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then yeah, that's when Carter spots an ex-con. Now I swear I've seen this guy before.
John Hawkes.
Yeah, what's he been in? Was he in Identity?
He was in Identity.
Yeah,
John
that's where I've
Hawkes
seen
was
him
in
from.
3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Winter's
Yes.
Bone, Identity. He was in a film called You, Me, and Everyone We Know.
Yes, you remember that. Very good film.
Yep, he's in loads of stuff. He's really, really good actor. I mean, he's won.
Yeah.
He was in Deadwood for several series. He's great. John Hawkes is a really, really good actor. This has
Yep.
got a hell of a cast on it. And it's got this. Him and Philip Baker Hall. You've got those kind of more classic kind of. They've been nominated for awards, like they've done, proper serious drama film. Then you've got, other people that haven't, but or, Chris Penn or Elizabeth Pena, who I don't know from anything else.
No, I don't. Like, she was credited quite high on the credits.
Yeah.
I don't recognise. I was thinking, where have I seen her from? I don't think anything that I've seen.
No,
So-
she's not in the sequels either.
No, and now she's dead.
Yeah, she died very young.
55, I think, because she was
Yeah.
a massive alcoholic or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked into that because I was like, I don't know her. Is she in the sequels? No. Why not? Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Anyway, moving away from bleak stuff. So yeah, he starts talking to him, and he's now an informant, and he's selling star maps, and they're talking like, "Look, what do you know about a kidnapped girl and all this sort of stuff?" And he says someone's been buying up explosives and firearms around here, and that's all the information he's prepared to give him. At this point, Carter realised that Lee has run off. Like, oh dear. So Carter's looking around, being like, "Shit, where the fuck's Lee?" And then he sees that he's managed to get on top of a bus. So then Carter gives
As you
chase,
do.
as you do. Carter gives chase on the bus, and again, another really good sequence. Like Chris Tucker jumps on the bus, and he's like climbing up and shit. And like, I'm assuming that's not a stuntman, and that's actually him.
What this film does fairly well is engineer action sequences out of nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, this bit that's coming up. It's no need for it to be there at all.
No,
If people just use their words, we'd be absolutely fine and we'd be getting through this a lot quicker.
indeed. Although I suspect Jackie Chan probably had a lot to do with the choreography and made every scene like, "Oh, you should do it like this,
I
do it
mean,
like
it's
this,
still
do it like
very
this."
impressive. Very
Very,
impressive.
So Carter gets on the bus with his gun and starts shouting at Jackie Chan. And as you said earlier on, it's spectacularly racist because everyone on top of the bus is Asian. And they all start taking photos of him. But it is funny that he starts posing really cheesily with the gun and his badge. And at this point, we get another great stunt because Jackie Chan jumps up and grabs a Hollywood sign and he's just hanging there in the middle of the road. Signals for a van driving underneath to stop, which he jumps on. Then he jumps onto an RV, goes through the roof, leaves the RV, rolls over, and seamlessly slides into a taxi. All in like one take. It's fucking
I could
fantastic.
do that. I just don't want to.
You're not falling over, breaking your leg, and getting run over.
Yeah, fair. I
Oh,
mean, yeah. It's very impressive. Like he's very. He's got a certain, and I thought this when I was watching it, like a certain physical charisma to him that just
mhm.
you can't replicate. Like there are other martial artists who are impressive, but there's something just about he's very watchable.
Absolutely. And when he's doing all this stuff, he's being really comedic because if you look at his face, he's got the most amazing facial expressions while he's doing it. Like, we'll get to it later on. There's a bit with a vase, and that bit is excellent. I'm like, oh God, he's just he has such a presence. So then Carter nicks some guy's motorbike and he's giving chase, and he forces the taxi to stop, and then Carter and Lee start having like a standoff and like taking the guns off each other and pointing it, and then the taxi driver gets out, and at first I was like, is that Robert De Niro? It really bothered me. It's like, is that Robert De Niro in makeup? But no, it wasn't. And for some reason, the taxi driver has a gun and starts threatening them. And also, Carter doesn't arrest him for pointing a gun at him. He's
Yeah,
just like, no, I'm FBI. And then this point, Jackie Chan reveals, oh no, I can actually speak and I'm a policeman and I'm just showing him how to take a gun away. I'm like, he's been lying all this time. Then what happens? Yeah, then we get a whole big argument about why did you not speak English before? And then Leaves like, well, you shouldn't just assume that I didn't speak English, which is absolutely true. And then we get
yeah.
a lot of bickering back and forth. And then it's not really a stunt, but it's really cool. But the way Lee gets into a car, he just sort of sits on it and spins his ass around and lands into the car. Like, I really need to do that if I ever get into a convertible. But again, I'll probably just fall off and hurt myself, break my other hand.
just land on the gear stick.
Oh, like Austin Powers.
I swear, officer, I was just trying to get in the car like Jackie Chan. I wasn't doing anything weird with it.
They're always trying to get in the car like Jackie Chan. Then when they're driving.
Why has it got cling film over it?
Anyway, then they're driving along, and then Lee's like berating. Carter's berating Lee, and then for some reason Lee decides to put the radio on and get very excited that the Beach Boys are on there. Which one is it? Is it Surfing USA?
I can't remember.
I think it is. And then Carter's like, oh no, and he puts on some like rap and whatever, just starts dancing like an absolute imbecile. But yeah, it goes to what you were saying earlier on. It's pretty a lot funnier if he hasn't got the music and he's just dancing just for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, culture clash comedies rely on forms of stereotype, right? It doesn't work if two people are just quite similar in chat and understand that they might have different cultural touch points and just move on from there. So you need these kind of broad stereotypes for it to work as a comedy. It has to be very carefully done though, because if it doesn't, it can tip over into just being racist. And I think this actually does walk the line quite well.
Yeah.
And it never really tips over into full-on racism. It's got moments that get real close to that line.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it feels quite harmless.
I suspect a lot of it because Chris Tucker ad-libbed loads of his lines. So he was probably just saying stuff he thought was funny that he might have done in his stand-up, which wasn't necessarily in the script. And he might have got a bit carried away at times.
Well, they said that bit earlier with him and John Hawkes, where they're talking about the Maps to the Stars was so ad-libbed that it was almost unusable. They had the two of them ad-libbing so much with each other that they almost had to reshoot it because they couldn't cut together a usable take.
Stick to the
Which
script.
is why it feels a bit weird. Yeah. I mean, I'd be pissed off if I was the screenwriter.
Stick to the script. Anyway, so then Carter's taken him and Lee to a snooker hall for what he calls a shakedown. And then when he goes in, he starts saying, "What's up, my N-word?" to everyone inside. And then he starts giving some guy shit for smoking weed. Now, in 2024, smoking weed's really not a big deal anymore, and it's legal in most states in America. So when you're watching this back, like, sorry, what's the big deal? It was massively illegal back then. Got it.
This is the point where I started to get a bit tired of Chris Tucker. Now, I don't dislike Chris Tucker as much as some people do, and I don't think he ruins The Fifth Element. Some people think he completely ruins that film, and I don't think he does. I think he's a bit much, but I don't think he completely ruins it. Mm-hmm. This is the point where it's like, right, he is good in small doses, but he has been the main focus of this for quite some time now, and he does not work well in large doses. It's like they've made the annoying sidekick the main character, that they didn't bother to have someone that you can actually hang on to as a likable presence in that role.
He didn't irritate me that much, to be honest. I can see why people would get annoyed with him, and he's a bit too much, but no, he didn't annoy me. But it did come with a warning on that review you showed me years ago. Warning: this film contains Chris Tucker. So I was suitably warned before watching this.
The poster, the terrible, terrible poster, gave it away.
Yeah. Anyway,
fucking terrible, that poster. It's awful. It looks like somebody knocked it up on like photo editor.
Yeah.
MS Paint.
MS Paint. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then once he's given that guy shit for smoking weed, he just takes the joint and puts it in his pocket. What the hell's wrong with you? You're gonna burn a hole in your pocket.
He is a bad policeman.
He really is. Then they go to the back of the room, and it looks like there's some gang out there discussing dodgy dealings or whatever. Then Carter starts interrogating him about the kidnapping, and then he sends Lee out there, and it turns out it's all a ruse because actually his cousin's like, oh hey, what's going on? He's like having a friendly chat instead. But yeah, then they get down to business about, look, what's been going on, what have you heard? And yeah, he confirms what John Hawkes said earlier on about the explosive and the weapons and all that stuff. And there's a new gangster in town, in Chinatown, but don't know his name yet, frustratingly. But he's buying all sorts of dangerous shit. And then, oh dear. So Lee has made his way back out to the snooker hall, and he sits himself up at the bar, and he makes a terrible decision to greet the man behind the bar the same way the car did. He's like, what the hell did you just say? And they just have the massive fight. And again, very, very well choreographed, and Jackie Chan kicks the shit out of absolutely everyone. As only Jackie Chan can.
Yeah, I mean that again is that engineering that fish out of water comedy, because I don't believe in the 90s that someone from Hong Kong wouldn't know not to use that word.
Exactly. But I don't know whether he thought, oh, it's fine because Chris Tucker's been using it to all of his friends, so now I can do it as well. So you probably shouldn't.
You definitely shouldn't have done that.
Yep. Yep. So then they leave, and then car drives Lee to a mini market. System. I'm just going to go inside. You want like a cup of noodles or something? Stop it. Please stop making these quips. And at this point, Lee's getting really annoyed with this. He's like, look, will you just take me to the consulate? I'm getting fucking fed up. And then Carter's like, all right, fine. Yeah, I've been lying to you. And then he just handcuffs him to the wheel. And the bit I couldn't stop laughing at. He said, you're not the only one with quick hands. He goes, what? I don't know why. It was just so unexpected. He does his little roar. It made me crack up. And then he goes into the store, and then when he comes out, Lee's gone, and the steering wheel's gone. And I'm like, hang on a minute. How have you taken that steering wheel off? I know Jackie Chan's awesome, but how's he done that?
Any policeman worth his salt always carries a set of Allen keys. So, yeah. I mean, I could take I could take a bike to pieces in 5 minutes flat, and I'm not even a cop.
So imagine what Jackie Chan could do with an Allen key.
Well, exactly.
There you go. But yeah, he's escaped, and he's got himself a taxi to the Chinese consulate, and then the FBI start getting all panicky that some Asian dudes just turned up to the gate because they're like, oh, this might have something to do with the kidnapping. Not realising all they had to do was say it comes along. Do you know that bloke? Yeah, that's Inspector Lee. All right, let him in. None of that happens. They just get all panicky. They hide Han in a room upstairs.
And this is where I said they've just engineered another action sequence out of nothing.
Yeah, there's no need for this.
There's no need for this.
But yeah, then Jackie Chan starts having a fight with the FBI agents, and then very, very spectacularly runs up a wall and manages to jump over it into the ground. So, oh my God, this man's just nearly 50 years old and he can do this shit. It's just absolutely incredible.
I'll be there all fucking afternoon.
I know.
Yeah.
Gonna get a ladder. And then
Give us a bunk up.
And then similarly, he climbs up a tree with complete ease as well, like a cat.
But unfortunately, Jackie Chan, like a cat, once he gets up a tree, can't get back down again.
Yeah, they call the fire brigade.
Fire engine out. So I got
again, Jackie.
Again, come on. Oh, thank you, Mr. Fireman. You've saved me, Jackie Chan. I don't know how he keeps getting out.
Yeah, we'll stop him doing it. Anyway,
you get a better lock on your Jackie Chan flap.
Really do. They bundled Han into the upstairs bedroom. And as they close the window, Jackie just drop kicks his way in, and again starts beating the shit out of the FBI agents. And then until finally, Han's like, "Oh no, that's Inspector Lee. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Panic over." Then Carter arrives in a tow truck. And then we get all the arguing with Carter's like, no, you've lied to me. This isn't a proper assignment. This is bullshit. And there's Carter goes to make a call to his captain. Just so happened the phone rang, and it's the kidnappers wanting their ransom.
I quite like that. I thought that was quite a nice touch.
But he picked up just as it started ringing.
Yeah. No, that was very well timed.
I don't remember that happening. I just remember them calling and he just answers it and says hello. I didn't realize he was on his way to use the phone anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I agree with you. That was cool. Yeah, and while he's talking to Sang, yeah, really trying to be his buddy and all that, really screwing shit up. Sang's like, I want $50 million, and he's specifying exactly how he wants it. And then he's getting really annoyed with Carter saying, like, what's your name? Because I'm one of those responsible for the daughter being killed. And at this point, the FBI have traced where the call is coming from.
So there was a joke that I really enjoyed in that bit. So the bit where Sang's asking for the dominations of he wants this number in 50s, this number in 20s. By the way, I looked into that. If the amount of money that would not fit into 2 suitcases and would be impossibly heavy to carry.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it's a bit where he says, I want, this many in 50s, this many in 20s, this many in 10s. Do you want any 5s with that?
Oh yes.
That was a very, very good joke.
Yeah, because at the point he gets fucked off and he went, who am I speaking with? Yeah. That was funny. Yeah, and at this point the call's ended. The FBI have traced where the calls are, and then suddenly there's cops galore and helicopters, and they've all circled the building. I'm like, look, why have you gone to this building? Obviously, whoever's made that call is not going to still be there because the ransom drop off isn't at this point. Because I got confused when I watched it the first time. I was like, oh yeah, they're going to go do the ransom. But why would you blow the building up? I was like, oh no, it's not. It's just they've just gone to where the call was, hoping that the people would still be there.
Yeah.
And then, Lee and Carter tell the FBI agents everything we've just said. Why would they still be here? Like, that's ridiculous. And then the SWAT team go in, a phone rings, and then they answer it, and the entire building just blows up. It's like, we could have told you that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they was hoping to find when they went in there. Just some bloke sitting by a phone. Oh, yeah.
Oh no, you found me. I knew I shouldn't have called from home.
End of film. Yeah. And then Lee spots Sang just hanging around an alley having a fag ass. Runs after him.
He's hanging about. He's hanging about, and then when he goes into the building and they chase him into the building, he then attacks him. He's like, "You had more than enough time to escape."
Yeah, and also that phone call probably happened about half an hour ago. Why was he still hanging around?
I assume he was hanging around because he wanted to see the cops blow up, but good God, that's stupid. That's so dumb.
That really is dumb. Yeah, so Lee's giving chase to Sang, who, like you just said, manages to get into a building, and Carter's on his tail as well. And then we get a really good fight inside where he's trying to get at him with an axe. And then Sang gets away, but he drops like a detonator. But then as that happens, Lee and Carter both fall through the floorboards and then suddenly end up in the street, which really confused me. I was like, wouldn't you just end up?
I think it's an inside. I think they're not in the street. They're in like an inside mall type thing.
Oh, like a bridge, perhaps, between the two buildings.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
But 2-story fall, they're absolutely fine.
And then a car almost runs him over. Oh, move out of the way. And also, Carter just assumes that's got something to do with Sang and starts shooting at the car. How do you know that wasn't just a passing car coming down this road?
That could have been someone having a good time with a lady of the night.
Indeed.
Who didn't want to get arrested. And off he goes. Yeah. Not in a good way.
Hey. I was waiting for that joke. But because Sang has dropped that detonation device, they're like, we need to pay a visit to Johnson, who is a bomb disposal person. At no point have they mentioned this. Not at one point. But yeah, we cut to Johnson trying to defuse a bomb, and it's like a test. And then Carter distracts her, and then she fails. Will this come back later?
If you can't handle the pressure, then quit. It's like, I wonder if this will be challenged later in the film.
But I'm glad it was, because if it wasn't, I'm like, this is utterly pointless. What is this thing?
Yeah.
But yeah, Johnson confirms, yep, that's a detonator and it's used in C4. Like, wait, C4? C4? Who else knows about C4? Oh. And then just as he's about to leave, Carter starts flirting with her and says, I'm sorry about spreading those rumours like that we shagged at the Christmas party. And she's like, what? And then Jackie Chan's like, don't worry, just kidding. And then inadvertently gropes her. And apparently he did that in another film, but they just rehashed it for this.
I thought that was very funny. I like the fact he moved away one hand and then the other.
And he was like, sorry. He just walks off. Oh no, and he says, thank you. So go off. So then they go off to see Clive, the guy from earlier, the C4 bloke, and he has a funny exchange with the security guard. I really laughed at this. He was like, look, come on, man, you got to let me in. He goes, no, I can't. Everyone's gone to sleep. I'm going to get in trouble. He's like, what about that time I busted you? No, I let you off having that weed. He was like, I shared that weed with you. And he was like, oh, yeah, let's in.
I mean, there is written down the stereotype here, all black people know each other.
That's
because in this film, he seems to know everybody that's black that he encounters. He seems to know personally.
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, that guy's been in loads of shit. Loads and loads of shit.
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah,
police
yeah,
security
yeah.
guard. Yeah. So then we see Clive, and he's being really uncooperative because Carter's trying to ask him about this detonator, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm not telling you shit." Understandably so. Why would he? He was like, "You just put him in prison. Why would he want to help?" But then he said, funny line. He goes, "You can kiss my fat ass." And Carter says, "It'll take me all day to kiss your fat ass." And as they're walking out, that's when Lee shows him a picture of Sue Young and sort of implores him to help. He's like, "Look, I don't care about him. I don't care about you, but I care about this girl. Like, help us type thing." And he says, "Yeah, you're looking for Juntao, who obviously Lee knows from Hong Kong,
Dun, dun, dun.
and and you'll find him in the Fu Chow restaurant in Chinatown, which apparently is a real restaurant."
Real restaurant that still has a sign up saying that Rush Hour was filmed here.
Love shit like that. So you can get so many people who sit down and point to the sign like, "Oh," while they're eating.
I mean,
I would anyway.
I mean, fuck it, I'm there. Why not?
Why
I
not?
could eat in a film. I could eat in a restaurant where a film wasn't filmed, or I could eat in a restaurant where one was.
I know what I'm choosing. So yeah, Carter and Lee arrive in Chinatown and they're scoping out the Fu Chow restaurant from outside.
Fucking worst stakeout ever. I put it right. Classic stakeout. Flash car, loud music, looking directly at the building.
That's true. They're not even being sold. And that is a very flash car that Chris Tucker has. Like, how did he afford this on a policeman's salary?
In obviously policeman's suits, one of whom is known to the villain. And they start pointing a gun at each other, and they're no longer bothering to look at the building they're meant to be staking out. I mean, I mean, what are they doing?
It's absurd. Actually, no, at this point, they're both known to the villain because they had an exchange with Sang in that building earlier on.
Yeah.
So they're both known. Yeah, there you go. Lee puts on the radio and he starts singing and dancing to War. Good God, Joe. That is a good for. Anyway, so Carter starts teaching him how to sing it right and dance, and then we get like a montage of them bonding over showing them karate tricks and exchanging guns and all that sort of stuff. It's all heartwarming stuff. And then
it's the bonding moments at the wrong time. Like, well, they could have done this earlier, or they could have done it in a completely different way, not while you're on a stakeout, because it doesn't bloody work.
yeah, they're making all that racket. What's not me like Juntao looking out of his window? What the fuck's going on down there?
Oh, it's Jackie Chan.
Dancing in the street. Yep. Then back to council, the money is being gathered. At this point, I was like, whose money is this? Is this Han's money, or if the FBI just like, ah, so I just open the vault and get all the money out?
I mean, Han flew over a policeman on a private plane, so I'd assume he's loaded.
I don't know. What his salary, personal wealth? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, and then Sang calls Han and tells him to bring the 50 million to the alley outside the Fu Chow restaurant. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, also, they've done all this police work to get there, and they'd have just sat there. They'd have told them where to go anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, no. There's Carter and Lee fucking shit up as usual. And then they get some Chinese takeaway food, and he starts giving that takeout guy shit, saying, "What is all this food?" It's like, you do know what Chinese food is, right? Why would he be selling ribs and wings and shit?
But it's when he's like, "Oh, this isn't bad." It's like, I can't believe you've never eaten Chinese before.
Yeah,
like a man in his 30s. You've never eaten. A man in his 30s who lives in LA. You've never eaten Chinese food before.
Well, he's never eaten camel's hump before, which I'm not even sure exists.
No, you see, right? I was thinking that. I was like, I mean, I've never eaten it, and I've eaten most weird stuff.
Yeah.
Because what was the other thing? It was camel hump, and what was the other one?
Eel.
Eels. I've eaten eels. I've eaten baby eels. They're quite nice.
A Chinese restaurant, though?
No, not a Chinese restaurant. I ate it in Portugal.
No. That's two completely different things.
Yeah, in retrospect, I don't know what I'm getting at there.
Anyway.
But they're a thing. I don't know that camel hump is, but maybe it is. And if it is, I want to eat it, Stu.
Yeah. Hit us up. If camel hump is a thing, let us know where we can get it.
Yes, please.
Right. So then they start talking about their fathers who were police officers before. They start arguing. They basically start having a dick measuring contest. It's like, yeah, my daddy will kick your daddy's ass and stuff like that. And then Lee reveals that Juntao killed his partner back in Hong Kong, and Carter's like, oh, that's why I don't have a partner. That's also XYZ. And then, yeah, at this point, they spotted Sang going into the restaurant. And then Carter says, look, I'll go in first, and then you can follow later. And this joke is fucking outstanding. Like, I could not stop laughing at this. I had to rewind it and watch it. So Carter gives Lee his ID. He says, if there's any problem, you come in and you flash this ID, and then you act like you're part of the LAPD. And when he looks, he's got like a massive afro and a moustache. He's got this ridiculously goofy smile on his face. And Jackie Chan goes, this will never work. I'm not 6'1". It was so good.
It's so funny.
Because I don't remember him making that line. I just remember like the funny picture of Chris Tucker, and that's it. But yeah, that his deadpan humor in it is so goddamn good.
This film has a couple of comedy lines like that, and the one I mentioned earlier that kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and just
really good. I had to rewind it. It was that funny. Yeah, the Carter tells him to act natural like you're out of town, and So he is. So he is acting like he's out of town. At this point, Carter goes in and he's really, really aggressive to the receptionist about seeing Mr. Jungdao to the point it's like, yeah, that's you're gonna get yourself arrested if you want a cop already. Then what happens?
It's that
And
weird
then
moment where they're outside with Jackie Chan and two tourists come up and ask him where to go, and he can't direct them. And I'm like, what was the point of that?
it makes no sense.
It's
just
not funny. It doesn't come to anything. I don't get it. It's like, did you think that was funny? That's not funny.
yeah, it's just wasting time, isn't it? Um,
The
Yeah.
film was running 1 minute under. We needed to fill some time.
exactly. Apparently, oh no, you know what it was? What I read. So I don't think it's part of your Smith trivia. The place where they asked to go to, it's like the Chicken and Waffle House or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the place where Chris Tucker gets lured to in Jackie Brown when he gets killed by Samuel L. Jackson. So I don't know whether that was a little nod to it.
Oh, maybe.
Like,
Okay. All right.
Could just be an amazing coincidence, but yeah, that's what I read. Again, could be bullshit. Yep. So that receptionist who Carter was very rude to goes upstairs to speak to Sang, saying, "Oh, someone was asking about Jungtao." And we get a very Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw, being like, someone's asking about Jungtao," like that. And then, yeah, the big screen TV reveal shows Carter sitting down at a desk, and then we turn around and, oh no, it's Thomas Griffin, it's Tom Wilkinson, he was Jungtao all along. We never saw this coming. Ah.
I remember even in like 1998 being like, oh yeah, obviously.
Oh, yeah, why would you get Tom Wilkinson in for that one throwaway scene at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, well, for fucking.
Yeah. But no, he orders for Carter and Lee to be killed because by this point Lee's followed Carter inside the restaurant, and the ransom is aborted. Like, get the go out of here. Like, fuck the ransom. We'll do it another day. Then Heard and FBI and the FBI make their way there with the money. So Carter and Lee have spectacularly fucked all this up. It makes you wonder, yeah, if I hadn't got in the restaurant, would they have just given the money, got the girl back, and that's the end of it? Or do you reckon still be some shenanigans? Like, we'll get the money, but you're still not getting the girl back or something like that.
I mean, it depends how much you care about law and order. And how much you care about a criminal enterprise getting their money, not for like drugs or guns or prostitution or anything, no, but for art theft.
Yeah, we find it out later. The reason is stupid. Yeah.
Very weird. Anyway.
Yep. And then the waitress is spiking a pot of tea, which he's going to give to Lee. And then he spots that this waitress is wearing Soo Young's necklace. But why this particular waitress? Why? Did like
also
Sang
the spiking
just
tea doesn't come to anything either.
No.
He does it, and he doesn't drink it. He doesn't even come close to drinking it.
No.
He just immediately puts it down
because he sees the necklace. But yeah, then some huge dude comes downstairs and tells Carter that Jungtao will see him, and then Lee sort of carefully follows as well. We see Soo Young being bundled inside a van. And Tom Wilkinson is just kind of standing by the van. I'm just going to stand here so the CCTV can pick me up.
I mean, this is the point where you think, like, in the same way that tax evasion brought down Al Capone, the way to bring down Jungtao was just to find out who owns that restaurant. I'm sure the paperwork would lead back to him eventually. He'd be like, oh, it's him. Oh, okay.
Absolutely. And then Carter, once he's got into the big office upstairs, he sees that big TV, and that's where he sees Tom Wilkinson on the telly. So he was like, well, who's that guy? Wonder if that will come back later. And then that's when all the henchmen surround Carter, like they're going to kick the shit out of him. And then he's like, right, come on in, Sang, you can fight me like a man. This joke was so good. It's just out of nowhere, this foot just goes and kicks him in the face.
It's so funny. The timing on it is so good.
Because you just don't expect it, do you? And he just happens. Like, which one do you kick me? He goes, I did. I'd be cracking up laughing. And then they Sang tells Carter just to wipe the blood off his face, but then it looks like they're about to kill him. But like, why are you fucking around? Why wouldn't you just kill him immediately?
I mean, this is what I put. It's what I've written down here. Why didn't they just shoot him? Is all right because people can't hit anyone when they shoot anyone because people are shooting each other all the way throughout this film, and very rarely does anyone hit anyone.
No, at one point even Carter's gun in this scene goes flying out the window. Oh, for Christ's sake!
Well, I think Jackie Chan. I mean, I read that Jackie Chan doesn't kill anyone in this film.
No, he doesn't. No,
and nor did I do. I think he really fires a gun more than once. Like,
no.
Every time he gets his hands on a gun, it gets knocked out of his hands almost immediately.
Yeah, so I think Carter kills 2 people, and the rest are just like evil people killing people or whatever else. But no, you're right. No, Jackie Chan doesn't kill anyone. Then Lee arrives disguised as a waiter, and then we just get like a massive fight. There's some really, really good stunts. Like Jackie Chan does this like running drop kick, and then lands on a armchair, which I thought was really good, and then rolls over the armchair. There's all sorts of crap going on. It's really, really, really fun. Then what do we get? Then Carter and Lee escape, and the henchmen start shooting at him. For some reason, they end up on a chair, and slide down the stairs. And then they make their way via the kitchen. And for some reason, the kitchen blows up. Why did the kitchen blow up? Didn't make any sense.
A lot of people working in that kitchen who didn't deserve to blow up that day, but they did. Came to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Long shift, been a long week. Oh, blown up. Brilliant.
Thanks a lot, Cara and Lee.
Yeah.
At this point, the FBI and Hard arrive, and understandably are furious with them. I thought you have fucked everything up. And then, what was it? Yeah, because then Sang calls them and says, right, now the ransom's 70 million. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's put it up by 20 million for the inconvenience. I would have doubled it, but whatever.
Yeah. It was arbitrary. 20's reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have caught them if they hadn't spent so much time fanning about bonding in their car.
Exactly. Someone's pissing around. But yeah, the FBI say, right, Carter, if you're off the case, Mr. Lee, Inspector Lee's been sent back home, and then we get the whole scene where Han's really disappointed in Lee, but he tells him, "Oh, it's Jungtao behind this." Like, oh, Jungtao. And then I've mentioned that the new ransom is 70 million. So then Carter and Lee part ways. Oh no, they were just about bonding and friends, and now they're split up. And at this point, this is when we get I don't know whether to call this guy Jungtao or Griffin. So I'm going to call him Griffin because Jungtao's his pseudonym. So Griffin arrives. Oh, hello, my old friend. To Han. It's like, just a stuffy old Brit, isn't he? Just typical James Bond, evil villain, stuffy old Brit.
He's there just twiddling his mustache. Going, yes.
Yes, pay the money.
I mean, I suggest you pay him. Not me.
Definitely not him. Then we cut to
I suggest you pay me. I mean him. I mean nothing.
Yeah, I thought at this point, it's like, are you not even going to partly suspect this guy? Or is it because he's like a police chief commander and it couldn't possibly be him? I don't know. But anyway, then we cut to Johnson dancing around, not wearing much, cooking. Did we really need this scene? And then, because Carter's been, a bit of a flirt throughout this. He gets worse as the movies progress. But yeah.
I mean, it tips into sexual harassment at this point.
Oh, you wait. It's the third one. Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, don't watch the third one. Anyway, so
I wasn't gonna.
Good.
Stop telling me not to watch a film I wasn't gonna watch.
Good. Let's keep it that way. So Carter calls her and he begs her for help, and then after all that, saying, "Oh, I've been egotistical, I've been this and all that," he then says, "Yeah, what pants are you wearing?" Oh, for fuck's sake, Carter. Couldn't get just through one phone call, could you? Then Sang calls Han, gives him instructions for the new ransom, and would make to believe it's going to happen at the Chinese artifact exhibition that's happening tonight. Ooh, wonder if shenanigans will take place. And then, I don't know how he's done it, but Carter's managed to disguise himself as a plane crew person and got onto the plane that Lee's on. And then they start having a whole moment like, oh no, you need to come back and finish this. And then he was like, oh no, you bring dishonor to your father. And Carter says some shit about like, oh no, my dad was killed by some junkie like at a road stop or whatever. And then he was like, so you think your father's honor's been like betrayed or some shit? But I don't know, prove me wrong. I was like, wait, what? I'm really confused by that bit, yeah.
What?
But yeah, in a roundabout way, just say, look, Lee, come on, we need to finish this. The little girl's life's at stake. And then we get this whole scene where Griffin's giving all this exposition. Jungtao did this in Hong Kong. Yes, he was responsible for the crime and all this. And my advice to you is to pay him. By no way do we suspect him at all. Then we get to the Chinese artifacts exhibition, and money's being prepared again by the FBI. Again, whose fucking money is this? It's really bothering me. Where have you got that additional 20 million from? And then there's
we just had it lying about.
in a sack somewhere. And then Jungtao's henchmen are everywhere, just disguised as ways like Sang's on the back, just like cleaning glasses. I'm pretty sure this really evil-looking man would not be a waiter.
I love that in films where like all henchmen are like, I'm a henchman. I've murdered 16 people in the last 3 months alone. Yet I do have my silver service certificate, so I can work black tie events.
Oh, funny. And then Lee, Carter, and Johnson arrive all looking very smart for the evening. And then Han starts giving a speech about the exhibition.
Where did Lee get a tux from?
Yeah, because he's not the same height as Carter, is he? It's not like he can borrow his clothes. Yeah, you're right.
Well, he's not 6'1".
No. Good banner.
I also think I find it really hard to believe the constantly making a fucking speech. His daughter's been kidnapped. It'd be international news. He's like, oh no, everything's fine.
Oh no, but he's told that the ransom's going to be there, so he's got no choice but to be there. But no, you're right. He should have just got Griffin to do that speech.
My mate can do it. It's totally non-evil mate of mine.
But yeah, no, pretty.
I'll make a speech.
Yeah, he's had flu for the last 3 days. But yeah, no. Typically, he's given the speech and he gets all emotional, so Griffin takes over. And at this point, Carter recognizes Griffin. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy from the restaurants." So he then gets up and just orders everyone out to get out of the building because there's an incident. And I wrote down, he says, "Titty, titty, titty, get those titties out of here." For fuck's sake, Chris Tucker.
I heard that. And I was like, no, he didn't say that.
No, he said that.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to hope he didn't, but
no, he did. He starts saying, "I was like, yeah, get your old ass out of here." And then he says, "Yeah, titty, 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 get those titties out of here." And then Lee spots the detonator because Sang's giving it to Griffin, and that's when they realize, "Oh no, he's Jungtao!" And runs over to go, "Jungtao, Jungtao, Jungtao!" And that's when he gives a bunch of exposition like, "Yes, those artifacts belonged to me back in Hong Kong, and when they were taken from me, I want payment." Like,
at no point he immediately goes from, "Oh, fine, all right, it's me." There was no like, "No, what are you talking about? I'm not Jungtao. Who's Jungtao? What's a Jungtao? You're a Jungtao. Get out of my face." No,
This isn't the detonator.
"Yeah, all right. Now I'm just going to kill a load of people."
Yeah.
Because he's also the only person in this film who can hit people with a gun. He just shoots two people like immediately and just kills them dead.
Yeah, he goes up to the FBI office and
Just
shoots
bang,
all
bang,
of them, bang, right down. This stuffy old Brit is actually very apt at using a gun.
I can do it myself, will I?
Oh, but then he explains that Soo Young's outside in a van. Why he just told him that, I don't know. And she's got a bunch of C4 strapped to her and she'll be blown up. Yeah, at which point Carter then makes his way outside to take out a henchman, and then Soo Young's in the back of a van, but she says, "No, if you fuck with this vest, basically it's going to blow up." So, I wonder who's good at defusing a bomb.
Possibly can't be his partner.
Johnson? The lady who was doing the bomb defusal earlier on? Perhaps.
Quickly, get that Johnson on this bomb.
And so they do. Yeah. Then Carter drives the van at the building, which is really stupid. Even driving the van in the building could have like blown it up. I don't know. Like Soo Young could have whacked against the wall, just blown up or whatever. So then,
I'm pretty sure that C4 doesn't work like that, but all right.
Well, maybe our viewers and listeners can write in and tell us.
If anyone out there has experience with C4 plastic explosive, please could you let me know whether or not shooting it or hitting it will blow it up? Because I strongly suspect that it can't.
Well, we will read out all answers on the next episode. Anyway, and then we get a bit that I found a bit infuriating. We like Carter starts daring him to press the button, going push the button, push the button. And even Soo Young starts saying push the button. I was like, I wouldn't call this man's bluff. He might actually push the fucking button. Well, I don't know whether he was just too close to everyone.
He wasn't that close to it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were getting at.
Okay. But then there's a big shootout, and then Jackie Chan manages to grab Soo Young and bundle her back into the van. And then, yeah, Johnson's manages to defuse the bomb. So all is safe. But then she says, but the detonator can still set off this bomb. And I'm like, but how? You've just cut it. Or did she only cut the tripwire? I don't know. That really bothered me, that bit. Plot.
It's also the last bit of dialogue that she has for the film.
Yeah, then she just disappears.
She's not in the film anymore.
No. Nor will she be in the sequels. Yeah, then we get that scene like we just said. Griffin goes upstairs and just immediately shoots everyone and just takes one of the suitcases of money. Like, oh! Just walks off with it. But only takes one. I don't know if one's easier to carry than two. Also, that thing would be heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, Lee spots Griffin going up the ladder with that suitcase. Like, there's no way this nearly 60-year-old man to be able to carry that up there.
I was watching going, how is he getting up the ladder with one hand? Because it's like a vertical ladder. You'd need two hands because the minute you let go,
narrow. It's really, really narrow. What would you do? Put the suit? Come on. It's not trying to put your suitcase in your loft when you've been on holiday. Like, come on. There's no way he's carrying that.
All right, Mr. Big Money, I've got a loft.
So at this point, Lee has got the vest, right? So he's using it as a shield whenever people are trying to shoot him or whatever else. And then he spots Griffin, stroke Jungtao, whatever you want to call him, escaping via ladder to the roof. The roof, girl. And then, yeah, he's giving chase to him. And then we get that absolutely awesome bit when he's trying to save all the priceless artifacts from getting smashed. He's having like fights with guys. And he's holding it up. They're punching him in the stomach or whatever else. And after all that, he defeats the guys. And then the boss just gets shot. It's like, oh shit, which I thought was really, really good. Really, really good. So Lee's climbing after the ladder after Griffin, and then at this point we see that Sang has gone upstairs and he's trying to claim the rest of the money, and one of the FBI agents isn't dead. Like, oh, yay, good. And then Carter comes in, is like, oh, you know, what you doing? Or let's fight like men. And then, oh god, the most racist line in this movie. He says, "I've been looking for your sweet and sour chicken ass." I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, why did you have to say that?
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, they about to fight without weapons and then predictably swerve each other. But then Carter manages to shoot Sang before he shoots him, and then he delivers the line from earlier. It was like, "Wipe yourself off, you dared."
It's a terrible line.
It
It's
is
a
very bad.
terrible line.
At this point, cuts back to Lee and Griffin a fight on the fire escape, and Griffin is stupidly walloping Lee with his suitcase full of money. He's like, "Why are you doing that? Why don't you just?"
Yeah.
Presumably he's run out of bullets by this point. Yeah, he does because you see him throw the gun down. So that's why he
I mean,
starts
guns
walloping.
are expensive. I wouldn't be throwing a gun away. Well,
Or
I'm gonna
with
keep
the
that.
gun. I'm sure if he hit him with
Yeah.
the gun. Yeah. But he keeps on hitting him with the suitcase, and then the suitcase predictably opens and the money goes everywhere. Oh, I'd be pissed if that was me.
I
And
mean, what
then,
do you expect? You're going to hit someone with a suitcase full of money. You're going to get money everywhere.
well, unless you put a proper lock on that suitcase. Well, anyway, so the suitcase opens, the money's everywhere. Griffin tumbles over because he loses his balance. At this point, all the money's coming down, and Carter is like, "Thank you, God," and starts putting money in his shirt. I'd totally do that if a load of money was raining down on me, even if it didn't belong to me. And then, yeah, Griffin's holding on to Lee on the C4 vest, and eventually it rips. Now, the thing is, how did Jackie Chan not lose his balance already? Because Griffin's a big bloke, right?
Yeah.
And so
Tom
Jackie,
Wilson is not small.
no, and Jackie Chan's holding his own weight on top of this dude and the C4 vest. Well, anyway, Griffin falls to his death very die-hard like into the fountain. And then
Very die hard, like very die.
Even
See,
the
when I
zoom
was,
out of the shot.
but it's funny because you then have Chris Tucker go, "Oh, you know he's dead." Because when I was a kid, I always thought, stupidly, that he fell into water, you'd be fine.
Well, I thought that because it looked quite deep that water, but that's
Yeah.
a significant height he fell from.
Yeah, you'd be dead. You'd be absolutely dead. Yeah.
Way dead. If not, you'd have like the worst whiplash or neck injury.
You'd
I don't
just
know.
drown. If you
Yeah,
didn't die from the impact, you'd be drowning because you'd be unconscious.
true.
That's probably
But
what
yeah.
happened to him.
Yeah, he's way dead. So then Carter pulls a flag off the wall because by this point Lee can't hold on anymore, and then manages to fall onto the flag and slide down, and then kicks Carter right in the balls. But it's fine. They're all safe. Everyone's happy. And then henchmen are all been immediately arrested outside and being led away. And
Well, isn't this where he kisses him on the cheek? He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just being polite." He said, "Oh, maybe next time be polite to my nuts." And I was like, "Kiss you on the nuts?"
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I mean, you've bonded, but good lord.
Well, at least he doesn't have gay panic like we've seen in other movies.
This is true. There's no gay panic in this film, which is quite
No.
good.
None. There's a lot of racism, but no gay panic. Yeah. At this point, Soo Young has been reunited with Han and Lee. Why Soo Young wasn't reunited with Han much earlier? But it's like, "Oh, Papa!" They have a big hug, and then she punches Lee in the stomach again. Like, "What took you so long?" And then Lee gives her the necklace back. Oh, so sweet. We cut to the airport, and Carter's flirting with an airline staff because why not? And then
This is like the day after.
Yeah, this makes no sense. I was like, surely he had
No sense
tons of
at all.
paperwork to do. Probably
Yeah.
have to go to the hospital. Like,
I did write down earlier, no one does any paperwork in this film.
No, I'll just blow up shit and kill people. But yeah, the FBI agents have come there and they say to Carter, "Oh, look, you did a great job. We're going to offer you a position for the FBI when you get back from your holiday." And then Carter basically tells them to stick that badge up their arse because he's LAPD. He was like,
He didn't do a great job.
he interfered all the way.
The case would have at least been resolved sooner, without less bloodshed and less property damage.
Indeed.
So no,
I don't know. They were
anything. He should be
these
suspended.
guys. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's funny. As Carter walks off, one of the FBI agents goes, "Bitch." Really made me laugh. And then Carter joins Lee in first class on the plane. Then he starts talking in Mandarin to some waitress. He's like, "I didn't know you spoke Chinese." Well, you never asked, type thing. And then he's like, "How long's this flight going to be?" He's like, 15 hours. Like, 15 hours? What are we going to do for that? And Jackie Chan's listening to War on the radio. And then cut to funny outtakes and credits.
I mean, what are we going to do for 15 hours? There are films on planes.
Just think,
Oh,
see,
yeah,
I
there's
thought
loads of
this.
stuff to do on a plane.
I thought this, but this is 1998, and this is set in 1997. So maybe that particular airline they went was a bit shit, and all there was the radio. So I don't know.
I mean, it looked quite roomy.
Yeah, but it was first class. Oh yeah, it's a real piece of shit as well. When he gets on, and one of the stewards says to him, "Can I take your coat?" No, he can take my bag. Bang! Oh, and he's wearing that horrible leather jacket like he was wearing at the start of the movie as well. God, that leather jacket. Okay, right then. So we've gone through at length the plot. So let's talk about way back when we watched it as kids. What
Yep.
did you love about it or hate about it then?
I I think what I loved about it then was I was a 13-year-old seeing a 15 certificate movie in the cinema.
Well, it got dropped to a 12, didn't it? I think it was 15 at
Did it?
cinema, then it got dropped to 12
Yeah.
on DVD. They say shit so many times in this movie, though. I'm surprised it's only a 12.
Yeah, they said it. They said it in the Goonies a lot on that page. Yeah.
True.
I mean, it reminded me a lot of the action films that I loved that I watched at home. So all of the stuff from the 80s, it had that real vibe of Lethal Weapon. I mean, really Lethal Weapon. A lot of vibe of Lethal Weapon, but also stuff like 48 Hours and all those
Yeah.
buddy cops. It had the comedy element to it as well. And I just thought it was perfectly entertaining. Got that balance right of
Mhm.
action and comedy. I mean, it's 96 minutes long.
Yeah, it's paced very
Doesn't
well.
need to be any longer than that. It paced very well. It just kind of does what it needs to do. Very, yeah. So yeah, and also obviously just seeing Jackie Chan, like, and seeing his particular brand of kind of martial arts, which was something that we really hadn't seen anything of. It was his first US film, right?
It was his first proper Hollywood one because there was a lot of shit that went straight to video, like, I don't know, Rumble in the Bronx and Who Am
Yeah, which
I
I'd
and
never
stuff
seen
like
any of.
that.
I'd never seen
Yeah.
any of that. Yeah.
But no, this was
So
his
yeah,
first proper Hollywood mainstream movie, which was good.
yeah,
Terrific. So did you
yeah.
hate
How
anything
about you?
about it back then, or was it just
No,
enormously fun?
no, nothing I could think of. Nothing I could think of. I mean, I've grown less tolerant of Chris Tucker as I've got older. I'd have liked it more when I was a kid because I like those kind of motor mouth
Yeah,
comedy
yeah.
characters when I was younger. I've grown less fond of them, like Jim Carrey, over time. How about you?
I mean, I loved everything about it back then. I really did. There wasn't anything I hated. I thought this is excellent. This is such a fun film. This is exactly the type of movie I like. And then, yeah, I really like the second one as well because the second one literally picks up after this one, and it's the same sort of shit. So yeah, no, I didn't hate anything about it. Man. I just loved it. I thought action, it was funny, chemistry was good, and just a very tight movie. Start to finish. It's not boring as well. Everything works. The comedy's really good. The jokes are great. So yeah, no, I loved everything about it. It was excellent. And then yeah, what do we love or hate about it now? Or has your opinion not changed?
I don't think my opinion's changed. I
No,
really had a great time watching this.
me too.
It's the first one that we've sat down and watched for this podcast that I have thoroughly enjoyed all of.
Yeah, me too.
Like, no notes. Like it. Well, okay, not no notes. I mean, Chris Tucker is very annoying, and there are points you really could have just a little bit, bring it down just a bit, and add some vulnerability to the character that's not really there. But apart from that, no, it's yeah, say that 96 minutes in and out, does what it's going to do. Perfectly captures that feeling of buddy cop action comedy that you just don't really get anymore. At least without a wink and a nudge. Like someone like 21 Jump Street did it and did it well, but it was very much wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
bit silly, whereas this plays it straight, and does it really, really well.
No, totally. I mean, normally when we watch these, I normally have a mole long list of stuff I hate about things. But this very little. I mean, yeah, some of the racist humor doesn't hold up. It's like the movie's a little bit formulaic, but then that's what makes a great cop buddy movie. Like we saw in Tango and Cash. Like, Tango and Cash is weird. But it's fun, but it's weird. Yeah, there could have been a bit more with Tom Wilkinson. To be honest with you, I thought he was underwritten, really. But other than that, those very I don't want to say racism is a small thing, but those things aside, no, it's just a very fun film, and I had a great time as well watching it. So yeah, there we go. Well, before we give the final verdict, well, that's probably quite obvious what it is. Smith trivia. What you got for us?
Smith trivia.
What we haven't spoke about already.
We haven't talked about it already because I know we touched on some of this already, so I'll be quick. So this had a budget of $33 to $35 million and grossed $244 million.
Amazing.
Right, so there's an absolute no-brainer to give it a sequel. So apparently Chris Tucker for the sequel made $20 million, and he asked for it thinking they wouldn't give it to him, and they just immediately went, "Yep, sure." Because that's what happens when you make a film that makes that much money. It was the 14th biggest film released in 1998. Top of the list of that year was Armageddon, and that's not including Titanic, which was released the previous year. Lucky old you that we're not doing the same year twice in a row. Otherwise, Armageddon is right up there on my list of ones to watch for this at some point.
God damn. Do you know what? I hated that film when I was younger. Maybe I'll like it as an adult.
I loved it when I was younger, but I've seen it a little bit of it recently. And oh boy, we're going to have a lot to talk about. It was also beaten by Mask of Zorro and There's Something About Mary.
Oh yeah.
And Godzilla, the Godzilla film that came out that year. That film's terrible. It beat Blade, Urban Legend, which is what I love, Halloween H2O, Lost in Space, and The Big Lebowski.
Wow. Yeah, I thought it'd be higher than 14, but still made a
Yeah, I thought it would with
shit
that
ton of
amount of
money.
money in it, but yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just a lot of things that made more money than that. It's directed by Brett Ratner. See, this is a weird film, this, right? So I was looking at the creative team behind this, and it seems to be a lot of very average people coming together to make something quite good.
Mm.
So Brett Ratner is a terrible director.
And person.
Yeah, his sexual assault allegations hasn't worked since 2014. Right,
Mm.
probably is not going to work again. Rush Hour 4, if it happens, it's probably not going to have him involved, not in a director capacity. But he's done Red Dragon, X-Men 3, and then the last film he did was Hercules, The Rock's Hercules film. They're all
Oh, okay.
fucking terrible, absolutely
Yeah.
terrible films. And it's written by a guy called Ross LaManna and Jim Coof. So Ross LaManna came up with um, the original idea. He's only had two writing credits since then. One was a made-for-TV film, and one was one episode of the hitherto unknown about by me Rush Hour TV series.
Oh, I saw a clip. That looks rubbish.
I know that, but he wrote one episode of that, and that's all he's done. The
Oh,
other guy wrote Stakeout and Another Stakeout, Snow Dogs, Taxi, and National Treasure. I mean, those films are all fucking awful.
yeah, really
He did,
bad.
however, write The Hidden, which you've never seen it. It's a sci-fi action thriller with Carl McLaughlin about an alien parasite that takes people over and turns them into killers. It's really good.
Well, that sounds awesome. Yeah, send me a link to
And
that.
Money Monster with George Clooney and Julia Roberts from a
I
couple of
like
years.
that. I thought
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
decent.
really good. So
Yeah.
I know he's got a bit of an up and down career, that one. So in terms of trivia, then from the film, get my notes. We said the Fujia restaurant exists, still there. Jackie Chan almost died. We've actually, yes, the Chinese consulate. So the building where Han is the 1960s Batman Wayne Manor,
I love it.
which I saw. I was like, yeah. Being quite a big fan of the 1960s Batman TV series, as I am.
Yeah.
Also, the reviews of Rush Hour and the need to review Jackie Chan's Chinese films before Rush Hour opened in the States is what led to the creation of the Rotten Tomatoes website. This
Mm.
film directly led to the creation of that website. I mean, that's really the only additional trivia I've got. This film is not a film that's got quite a lot of behind the scenes trivia about it. I've looked a little bit into why Chris Tucker doesn't seem to have done anything in years and years, but it seems to be more that he's just concentrated on stand up and various other bits. He's been in a couple of films recently.
Yeah, he's in Air.
Seems to be making a bit of a comeback, and there is always talks of a Rush Hour 4, but I don't really need that. I mean, Jackie Chan is pushing what 70 now?
Yeah, he must be in his mid-70s
No, he's not. I think he's in his 60s. I think he's
now.
69.
Late 60s.
Um,
Yeah.
and he is also becoming progressively more right wing as he gets older, which is
Yes, we don't know.
concerning. Yeah. So probably best we just leave Rush Hour where it belongs in 1998.
Yeah. Well, no, in 2001. Rush Hour 2. There's no Rush Hour 3.
I'm not going to go and watch Rush Hour 2 or Rush. I don't think I've seen either of them.
I'm watching Rush Hour 2 because it's on Netflix as well. So I'm just like, I'm in the mood to watch the second one now. But yeah. But we won't be covering it on the podcast because it's just much of the same.
Yes, yeah, same.
Cool. Right. Any other trivia?
No, that was it. Unless you have any other little bits and bobs.
No, the only other one quickly was just apparently Jackie Chan's not actually fond of this movie, which is interesting that he then went on to do Rush Hour 2 and Rush Hour 3.
He doesn't like his performance in it.
Yeah, but he doesn't like there's not enough action scenes. Like, yeah, but dude, you can't have a whole movie of action. You got to have a little bit of,
Yeah,
characterization and dialogue and whatever else. But yeah, no.
coward.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, it's going to be no surprise. Does it hold up?
Yes,
It absolutely
unequivocally,
does.
yes, it absolutely does.
Yes, it's really, really, really fun, and I would encourage anyone to go watch it. It's very, very
It's
good.
on Netflix. Go out and just give it a watch. Strong recommend.
Do it. Cool. Right. So it's your turn. It's next episode's nomination.
Oh.
What you got for us?
Oh, you see, I've been going back and forth. I've written down a short list. I've been going back and forth. I'm not entirely sure where to go next. You're lucky you got away with Armageddon because that was really up there.
Thank Christ. I'm not in the mood for that yet.
No. So what if I pitched to you in the early 90s that the best thing that we could make for kids would be a remake of a television show that hadn't aired properly since the 1950s?
Is this the Flintstones?
It's the Flintstones.
Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones.
Yabba dabba don't.
Fine. That's
So,
1994 again, but that's fine. We will do the Flintstones.
I get the problem with this, Stu, is that we watch films from the same era. We're going to keep coming up against the same years.
True.
Unless you want me to
true.
pick Jaws.
I mean, no. We know that. Perfectly fine. If you want to
I'll
cover
pick one of
Jaws
my-
3 or Jaws the Revenge, we can do that.
I'll pick one of my favorite films of my childhood, Godfather Part 3.
Yeah. Right. No problem at all. Then it will be Flintstones. Right. So just before we get out of here, just want to plug our socials. So you can reach us on email at itdoesn'tholduppodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at itdoesn'tholduppodcast. We're on Twitter, or X as it's now known, at doesn'tholduppod. We are on YouTube at It Doesn't Hold Up Podcast, and we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other good places you listen to podcasts. And remember, do give us a good review on all our podcast platforms, and keep your suggestions for stuff for us to cover. And yeah, we will do shout outs just like I did for Gary earlier on.
He will, I won't.
Yes,
I refuse to do shout outs. I don't know these people.
that's true. You don't know people. You don't know any people, Smith.
I don't know anyone. I know you. I know you, and I know this tiny version of me.
Yes. He's made many appearances that people might not have seen, but now we are. Anyway, so is there anything further you would like to say on Rush Hour before we get out of here?
Yes, I'd like to say war. Huh, good God. What is it good for? The gross domestic product of nations currently going through hard times.
Yes, indeed. And you've stole my quip. I was going to use that to finish. So I'll just say goodbye, everyone. And yes, next time we see you all, we'll have a yabba dabba do time.